Và tiếp theo chương trình, ban tổ chức xin trân trọng giới thiệu tiến sĩ Yong Chern Chet, giám đốc đổi mới sáng tạo Ananda Development sẽ lên trình bày báo cáo với chủ đề Doanh nghiệp sẽ phát triển trong thế giới kết nối như thế nào. Xin trân trọng kính mời ông. We would like to invite Dr. Yong Chern Chet, Chief Innovation Officer from Ananda Development, with the topic How do businesses win in the world of the connected everything?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for allowing me to be part of your event, and it's a great honor for me to share on the topic called How do businesses win in the world of connected everything. So before I start, I think how I will frame my section is I'll be sharing examples, practical stories on businesses and how they manage to leverage on the new capability that IoT actually brings into their environment. So my background is I have quite an interesting journey. I actually started my career as a medical doctor, but I've moved, transformed myself. In fact, a couple of times I was in consulting, I was a CEO before, and now I lead innovation with Ananda Development, which is based in Bangkok, Thailand. And the area that actually I specialize in is not so much real estate, which is what Ananda is doing, but I actually lead digital transformation. And in the home space, with regards to IoT, we are doing a lot of focus, and the industry is very interested, especially in connected technology. So before I start, I just want to show you this picture to give you the impression about the wave of technology that is coming to us. So what I'm trying to say is, it doesn't matter what industry you're in, whether or not you are actually a technology-based business or you are a traditional business, such as Ananda is in. We are real estate, we are doing construction, we're doing development. It will affect us. Just like how before the mobile phone revolution, we talk about the internet revolution, right? So, so imagine life before the World Wide Web, right? Anyone remembers? I'm sure you do, right? Then now today, everyone carries a smartphone. Everyone does everything on the smartphone. So what we are going to experience in probably the next 5 to 10 years is the next jump. And this is very significant. Mr. Ernest from the speaker before me, he framed the technological considerations as well as the strategy, I would say, very well. And I will have a tough job, following him in his, presentation. But I will focus on the execution, as he mentioned. So currently, where we are today, as you can see, in terms of the disruption, we are just before the red line, where exponential technologies such as IoT, together with AI, together with analytics and automation, has already been permeating in industries. So if you think about what I call the fundamental forces, in physics there are fundamental forces such as gravity. In the way we behave, they actually have 4 fundamental forces. One is culture, next is actually politics, third is major wars, and the fourth fundamental force is actually in business. So what I mean is, business is like gravity. It affects everything we do, and it is something that is very easy to characterize. So meaning, if we are on the path of moving from here to here, to here and to here, I'm almost very certain that instead of going elsewhere, we're actually going here. So what this means, very soon, in the 2020s, which is just a couple of years away, the decade that lies ahead will be actually very influenced by this type of technology. and it is in everything we do, meaning it is in society. It is not just in special, small areas or organizations, but everyone's life will be affected. So this is what I mean by fundamental forces. Just like gravity, you cannot escape gravity as long as you're on Earth, right? Okay, now, just to set the story, the term IoT was actually coined in 1999 by a gentleman called Kevin Armstrong. And the concept that he was referring when he says Internet of Things, which he wrote in a paper in 2009, is that previously, before IoT, it was actually the Internet of People. So what that means is, when you go on the web then, and you try to search for content, if the content wasn't created by a person or human being, the content didn't exist on the web. But with IoT, the actual machinery, the sensor, the car, or the device actually was the one creating the information that is available on the internet network. So hence it's called Internet of Things. So now, if you think about it, what I want to show here is, you notice the line. So in 10 years, not much progress, but you can see in the following 10 years, look at the steepness of the curve. So this is the exponential theory, meaning as you go, the rate of disruption or the wave of disruption is even faster and is even more aggressive. Now, this is an opportunity, but it is also potentially a big problem if businesses miss this window of change. Okay? Now, I just want to show you an example with something we're all very familiar. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the evolution of the bicycle. Now, imagine if you were the business of making bicycles from 1818 all the way towards somewhere around here. So, you improve upon the design, you innovate upon the materials, the usability, and you can even say that you focus on the user experience, right? Now, notice at this stage, basically when you have smart bikes, not just about having a new powertrain, meaning the electric motor inside those bikes, but there is connectivity. So you're going into IoT. It is actually not just innovation, it is disruption. So what it means is, if your business has been in the business of making bicycles all the way until now, you might find that your expectation of the consumer, who would be your people who buy the bicycles, have a very complete expectation about what a bicycle should be in terms of the function, its capability, and the value that your bicycle has been producing. Okay? So you notice I'm using very business terms because that's the angle I'm coming from a very practical business model conversation. Okay? So my subsequent slides after this, I will use examples, I will tell stories about 5 different business models in terms of how they manage to use IoT. Okay, so the key to remember in all my 5 themes is that it is not just a better what we're talking about. It is a completely new way of doing business. It is a completely new mindset, and you might even need new type of skills and thinking in terms of strategy and the people in your management to execute that's completely different from how you were doing before. Okay, so this is called business model disruption. So before I jump into it, this is my only technical slide that I have. What I'm trying to say is, right now we are at this stage where we have enterprise applications, namely the SAP, the database, the ERPs, and etc. etc. A lot of us have already managed to invest in what we call the analytics platform in terms of making use of data. And this has helped management make business decisions, helping us change the way we operate, helping us to make sure we are able to grow the business and protect our profits, right? Now, if you notice what's remaining on the slide, which is this. Basically, I will jump here first. This part in terms of the connected things. This will be the new normal, meaning these items will exist. Realize that it's kind of chicken and egg conversation, meaning do you have the business case to invest in this technology, or do you invest in this technology and then you create the business to monetize this investment, right? This is a perennial problem. Okay, first example, first story, I call it from product to platform. So a lot of us are in the business of manufacturing. A lot of us are in the business of selling products. So this example, this is Samsung, okay? So Samsung, what they've done is they've announced that every product and device or white goods that they make will be a connected device from 2020 onwards, okay? So what it means is they are signaling to the market, instead of product, I'm actually producing solutions. Instead of selling outputs, such as the ability to wash clothes or the ability to keep fruits in the refrigerator, it is an outcome. And they're trying to convert from a one-off transaction, meaning you only buy a Samsung product once every while, or when you buy a new home, you have to buy a new white goods, into a relationship. And then from having a network of suppliers is a partnership. And instead of elements or components, they become creator of ecosystems. Now, my critique of this is, or rather Samsung is, they are only halfway there. They have the technology, they realize there's an opportunity, but the business model currently doesn't fully realize the ambition. So I'll share you a story. I'm from Singapore originally, that's where I am. And I know Samsung recently launched a very high-tech fridge. They call it the smart fridge. They call it the home hub. But then, when I realized that the product doesn't really inform me about the status of my food, it's just basically a connected LCD screen. It's like a giant iPad that's attached to a refrigerator. Now, I told them, I said, your product is only 50% ready, because if someone else were to do the smart fridge. So for example, Amazon. How Amazon will do a fridge is, it's not about the hardware. Amazon might even sell you the hardware for very cheap, because they just want the fridge to be used by your family. And then they will track the level of consumption of milk in the fridge, or fresh vegetables, and they will set up a automated ordering system. So that's what I mean by, instead of the product, it becomes the solution, right? It becomes your grocery shopping solution. It's not just a fridge that has a Wi-Fi connection. Okay, so this is the first model. From considering if you're a product manufacturer, would you want to become a platform, meaning as a service model? Okay, next I'll move to the next story. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Caterpillar. For many years already, Caterpillar has gone out, the leadership has said that they are going to be a IoT company, alright? Now, Caterpillar, as you all know, or may not know, is basically into heavy machinery. They manufacture excavators, bulldozers, lifting equipment. So the saying is, if you are a construction company, you're not really buying the excavator, even though you are buying the excavator. What you want to buy is the ability to dig holes. You want to buy the ability to lift rocks. So now, what Caterpillar does is, instead of saying that this tractor costs how much, or this excavator is going to cost how much, they talk about the output and the outcomes. They say that use Caterpillar vehicles, maybe from a lease financing model, that means you don't buy it, but you subscribe to the capability, and they prove through the IoT technology and using a bit of augmented reality as well. This is using their augmented reality platform, and they can say that they deliver 45% increase in operator efficiency, 25% reduction in fuel consumption, reduction of 15% in maintenance costs. Notice the language changes, right? So from a heavy vehicle manufacturer, they literally become a outcome-based model, okay? So this is basically going one step further from the Samsung example, where your business value to your customer actually moves one level nearer to your customer's business objectives, right? So if you are a main contractor or you are an infrastructure company, your main business is not to buy heavy equipment. It is part of your operations. But your main business is to deliver the outcomes, meaning to build the bridge, to build the building, to dig the hole. So this talks the same language as your customer's management. Okay, so this is getting nearer to the customer. Now, okay, we touch on distributed asset, Ernest mentioned. So here I want to show you the thinking. So for the user, instead of buying a scooter, you subscribe to the scooter. Now, that's for the customer side. Imagine you are now the business that makes the scooter, right? So what happens if you don't sell a single scooter, but you rent your scooters out to your customers, okay? So Bird is a San Francisco startup. They are basically the Uber of scooters. And in fact, Uber has a division that is their rivals called Giám. So this is a real business. And here I want to show you the financial modeling. So this is where the thinking changes, the innovation. Let's say you are talking about reviewing your business performance. There are two models of scooters to consider between Model 1 and Model 2. Now, for the same cost, if you have a superior model, meaning you upgrade technically, you can actually get more utilization. And because you can get more utilization, you can actually reduce your price per ride. That means you become more competitive in the market while your profitability increase. So this in fact is a great upgrade, so to speak, because your cost for your hardware is the same, you actually get more profit. And look at the gross margin, from 10.3 to 40% over gross margin. Now, then the next comparison between Model 2 and Model 3, what if you were to invest in another model, meaning the upgrade, even though the capacity doubles, but the price doesn't double. In fact, you only have a saving of $20, right? Normally, if it's for 500 to 1,000, you expect 800, but your cost is 780. So just for this small savings, and you can maintain the price, look at the profitability, right? It jumps up. And then suddenly, overnight, your profitability, from 10.3% jumps all the way up to 60%. Okay, now I know all this is theoretical, but if you think about it, if you're the business and you are originally a scooter manufacturer, you know how hard is it to even maintain your margins when it comes to manufacturing, right? So this is a way of applying a new way of thinking about the business, and it is possible because now your product, which is this scooter, that still needs to be made and manufactured, is just that it's part of a IoT connected platform, and your business model is basically based on distributed asset. Okay, so this is to get you creatively thinking how to win in terms of your business challenges. Now, okay, this is Amazon, right? So I mentioned if Amazon were to do a fridge, they probably give you the fridge free because they want you to use it, right? So Amazon has this product. This is called the Dash button. It's an IoT it's not really a sensor, it's just basically an IoT switch where they give it out to households. There's a little battery inside, that's how they are powered. And whenever you finish any of your consumables, soap powder, here you have Olay, which is a facial product, you have Gillette, razor replacements, and here Adrex is the toilet paper. So whenever you're running out of a consumable, you just press a button, and that's it. So IoT here becomes a conduit of sales. This is like what the speaker before me mentioned. Instead of having a person trying to sell you products or you having to buy products, the IoT capability automates the buying. And Amazon wants this because then you channel all your needs through their platform. And that's how Amazon grows, and that's why it's a $1 trillion company, right? So this is basically Amazon tapping on the power of IoT to complement the e-commerce platform. Alright? So this is basically its best sales ever. Now imagine if you are an FMCG company and you usually get your sales reps to go to the different supermarket stores or the convenience stores to check on stock. Imagine you invest in an IoT shelf where you put your product. So as people consume your product, let's say they buy Coca-Cola cans, when the stock goes low, it sends an automatic inventory management system to send people to replenish. So the shelf literally sells your product for you instead of a salesperson, right? And you go one step further. If there's a display on the shelf, and if it sends someone walking by, and you have the data, then you know this person, what type of drinks he likes, what type of consumption habit, because there's a network that you can tap into. The shelf can display a targeted advertisement, or it can call out to the person to say, hey, have you considered drinking a Coke today, for example, right? So I'm not trying to endorse Coca-Cola here, but it's an example of how IoT can trigger a sales interaction automatically. Now, so this is a nice segue, I think, to the next speaker's talk. Is based on smart city. So here, the concept is that the likes of the digital giants such as Google and Facebook, their revenue model is based on knowing the user data, using the user data and monetizing it. That's why you get to use Facebook for free. That's why you get to use Instagram for free. You use Maps, you use Gmail for free, because they actually make money off your data behind the scenes, okay? Now, I'm not going to go into the ethical implications of this, but with a smart city, instead of your usage of your smartphone, which is monetized by the likes of Google and Facebook, a smart city can technically monetize off your activity, meaning the route you take to go to work, where you ate your lunch, where do your children go to school. Technically, this can be converted. Okay? So now, with all due respect to privacy, of course, I'm not saying that we should make money out of people's privacy, but the potential of this is you can deliver services and you can run the city much better. Okay? So this is probably my last slide. I don't want to overstep too much. So it's just to show you in terms of if you are a master at managing your data, as you go up the hierarchy, you can literally even have a business where you sell the data. So here is from raw data, you go to process. At this part, this is insights. This is where most consulting companies actually make their money on. It's about sharing of insights. Whereas here, then it becomes to very specific niche data services. So with that, thank you so much. I hope it was useful, just for me to very quickly share within 20 minutes just new ideas where traditional businesses, doesn't matter what you do, whether is it making bicycles or selling consumer goods or even toothpaste. The idea is that there's lots of opportunity. It's about basically executing on the potential strategies. Thank you so much.